Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's special masterclass on optimizing your LinkedIn profile for success, where you will learn how to make your professional presence truly stand out. Our expert for today's session is Dr. Subodh Saluja, who is Dean Academic Delivery at Center for Distance and Online Education, Chitkara University, Punjab. He brings over 22 years of work experience and he loves to share his knowledge with others. Today, he will be sharing how you can optimize your LinkedIn profile for your professional success. Over to you, Dr. Subodh. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rahul. And if everyone can confirm, is the slide visible, the PowerPoint?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So all those who have joined, I welcome all the learners here, the team of CDOE, each member who has made the presence in today's session. So today's session, the topic is power of professional presence, optimizing your LinkedIn profile. So thing is, first of all, let us understand that why we need to have a strong profile on LinkedIn and how our presence on LinkedIn makes all the difference to our career, to our status, and why so. First of all, let us try to understand that what are the numbers in terms of the LinkedIn. So when we look at this LinkedIn data, you'll see that 1.1 billion members globally, they are the members of LinkedIn. If you look at 8 billion populations, almost like 12.5% of the world population is present on LinkedIn. I mean, that's really a huge number. On an average, 300 million monthly active users are there, which comes out to be around, say, 30 crores. And the second largest market for LinkedIn is India, where we have 14.148 million members. That will come out to be around 14.8 crores of the members. And to look at which is the world largest market, that is the US, having the numbers 234 million on the LinkedIn platform, and the Brazil comes in number 3 as 83 million. So the top three markets are USA, India, and Brazil, and India is the largest market in terms of this, and second largest market, and the numbers are growing in India. If you look at the number of the job seekers which are there on LinkedIn, so on an average, the 65 million are the weekly job seekers, people who are seeking the job on this particular platform. So if you look at a well-crafted LinkedIn profile, acts as your digital business card. So nowadays, even when we look at, the hiring being done, so what they say is, okay, can you share me your LinkedIn profile? Or maybe a copy converted into a PDF file, because that gives a lot of details about you, what are your accomplishments, what is the experience in different industries, and recommendations. So a lot of data in terms of which is available on LinkedIn in a one single click link or a page. So therefore, it becomes very important to really understand why having a strong presence on LinkedIn and at the same time having a strong profile on LinkedIn makes all the difference. So now question comes is why it is important to have a professional presence. So first is digital presence defines the first impressions in the global job market. So when you are present on LinkedIn, anybody across the world can see your profile. Even LinkedIn has, profile which they can access in their native languages. So somebody in Italy will see your profile with Italian. So all those things are there available on the LinkedIn. Also from the employment career perspective, employers and recruiters are increasingly accessing the online profiles. At the same time, when we look at a professional presence, so we say our visibility, your credibility in terms of the recommendations that you get, and the opportunity, because since LinkedIn has even the jobs as a portal availability which is there. Apart from these presence of having the profile, the job opportunities, LinkedIn also has a presence in terms of LinkedIn Learning, one of the major services they are catering to the users. So anyone who wants to learn something new can subscribe to the LinkedIn Learning, and through LinkedIn Learning, one can get a particular certificate and accomplishments and can show their professional learning onto their profile. They can add their certificate onto the profile and thereby increasing your credibility as an individual, as a professional. Moving on, the professional presence paradigm, combination of the appearance, how are you communicating on LinkedIn builds your reputation. For example, maybe you do a post on a weekly basis or fortnightly. And so that way, there is some kind of a frequency which is built in terms of posting on the LinkedIn. So the online professional presence, what do you write? What content you write? What is the response you get? Maybe you give some comments to somebody's post, you repost something. So all that, what you are doing basically showcase you as a professional and you as an individual. There is something which is called as a social trail. So the last 5 years, let us say you have been on LinkedIn. So in case any organization wants to know that, okay, what is the kind of the content you have posted, what is the kind of content you have engaged with on the LinkedIn platform, just by running a particular software, they can just summarize your entire 5 year journey, and it will show up to them in a kind of a single, page, which is very easy for them to comprehend and understand. How are you doing as a professional? What is your contribution, knowledge contribution to the this particular on this particular network? How are you perceived by others on this particular LinkedIn network? So for professionals, for freelancers, maybe somebody is having a startup. So this is a kind of a professional presence, and this is the place you come on LinkedIn. So there can be a question that I am starting a company or I am working. So Facebook is much more better for me or LinkedIn? So I'm sure the answer would automatically, shift towards LinkedIn because that's a more a professional network as compared to other, social media presence which is there, channels which are there, like say Instagram, Facebook, many other. So this is one of the most professional, the network which is there. So what are the advantages of being on LinkedIn? You can connect with the like-minded professionals. For example, you're an academician, you can connect to academician, across the globe, not only in India. You search the profile, go to a particular university, connect with that individual, and you all can work together. Similarly, a salesperson can, use this LinkedIn profile to have those client prospects. Maybe a sales guy wants to, target a particular company, senior level, so they can connect using this platform, sending a request to connect on this particular platform, and thereby try to build up and engage the client prospect list. So it even helps the sales professionals. Now let us look at the example of, say, somebody who's into plant operations. So do you think it will be beneficial for them? Sure, it will, because when they are working in that particular organization, probably maybe following Black Belt, Six Sigma principles, they can connect to those like-minded professionals and share the best practices among them. At the same time, on LinkedIn, there are different groups which are available, networks which are available, and you can connect on that. For example, there's a network which is called as NHRDN, National Human Resource Development Network. So NHRDN basically has their own kind of a presence on LinkedIn. So one can join the network of NHRDN and be a part of the community. And the latest what is happening on that particular community, you can make the best benefit out of it. For example, you are a project management professional. You can join a PMI group, which is like Project Management Institute group, which is there, that community, the link on LinkedIn, and connect to like-minded professionals on the LinkedIn network. So it is your professional presence, and that is the kind of the importance why we need to have a strong presence on LinkedIn. So can you type on the chat window one word that best describes what LinkedIn means to you in the career journey? So according to you, if you have to describe LinkedIn in one word, what will that be? If somebody can, just type in a text, one word. Let us have a look at that. Yes, anybody who would like to put a text onto the chat window, if you have to describe in one word what is LinkedIn, what will that be? Okay, so we have a Paras saying live resume. Okay, very good. That's absolutely fine. Yes. Gurpreet says professional networking. Yes, so professional networking space. It's your live resume. What is happening? So I think excellent, answers which have come from the audience here. So thank you for your answers. Coming back to the presentation, moving on. So yes, LinkedIn can be described as a, collaboration space, live resume, networking platform. So all these things basically describe LinkedIn. So if you look at the professionals, from the job perspective, networking perspective, so when you look at this dynamic change, for example, 25 years ago, there used to be a portal called as Naukri.com. But now, and then all the jobs were filled. Employers used to have access, the employer access to this portal. Lakhs of resumes were, put onto this portal, and then logins. Basically, subscription used to be taken care by companies for them to go to the resume and access the resumes of the professionals for what they want to hire. So nowadays this trend has changed, and if you look at almost studies and the research indicate that 70 to 85% of the jobs are filled through networking. So that is again a great change, which has come over the time, that using this simple platform of LinkedIn, even if you don't have a kind of a paid subscription, still you are visible. There are some things which you can do as basics, posting and all, having a newsletter. So all some of the facilities are available in the free version as well. And the recruiters, they rely heavily on LinkedIn for the candidate searches, and through referrals which come through the LinkedIn is one of the major areas for the hiring. So not only in India, but apart from India, global markets can be accessed and you can connect with the industry leaders. For example, somebody is at the middle level management and wants to go to the next level. So this middle level manager can connect to an individual at the senior level, CXO level, director level. And then once you are able to connect, then through the communication medium, you can communicate your idea or whatever is the kind of a pitch you have to them. And later on, the conversation can move on to a phone or a Google Meet and so on and so forth. Moving next, LinkedIn obviously impacts in terms of the learning and the development. So one can access the LinkedIn learning, thousands of the professional courses which are available. Nowadays, when there is a talk about artificial intelligence, machine learning, what is happening across the generative AI space. So there are like hundreds of courses. And the advantage with LinkedIn is these are the bite-sized courses. It is not that for a course it will take as long as 6 months or 1 year. So maybe it is a 5-hour course, a 2-hour course, a 10-hour course, 20-hour course. So kind of a bite-sized learning, which really makes, you can put up the time. At the same time, then you can learn, get that certificate, put onto your profile, and showcase this is as your achievement. So thousands of professional courses being available. At the same time, you can follow the thought leaders from the industry. And as told, you can join the professional groups which are available like NHRDN, PMI, SHRM, various others. And you can be a part of that learning community at what is the latest happening in your particular industry. Some of the key components of a strong LinkedIn when you have to create or profile is there has to be a professional photo and a banner. There has to be an engaging headline and a summary. And you put your detail, starting from your first employer in terms of, your experience, 5 organizations you worked. So all these details are available on that particular profile you have to put in and showcase your achievements which are there, the skills, the certification, recommendations which are there. Recommendations are also kind of a very strong to your profile. Why? Because somebody who has worked with you, maybe your manager, maybe your peer group, maybe your subordinate. At the same time, when you take the recommendations from them, ultimately it is the kind of a feedback which gets showcased to the entire world that how the people whom you worked with in those organizations, what was their perception about you. You may find some recommendation which say, okay, hardworking, sincere, risk taking ability, proactive. So all those kind of, if you have really accomplished and you have done some kind of achievement through the recommendation, that is a very strong input which builds your profile. At the same time, it adds value to your profile. Therefore, very important, when you have to optimize your profile, ensure that you are getting the recommendations. And recommendations does not mean that every time when you basically leave the organization, then you ask for a recommendation. For example, if you've worked in the organization for 1 year or 2 years, still you can ask somebody that, hey, can you recommend me? So you can ask for a recommendation in the same organization as well. Ultimately, that is the key component of building a strong LinkedIn profile. So in terms of the best practices, whenever you are putting your profile, for example, you are a specialist in the area of Six Sigma. So the words like Six Sigma, black belt, all those SEO keywords relevant to your industry should be put into your profile. Another thing is to customize your LinkedIn URL. In fact, we'll show it to you how you can customize your URL. Sometime you must have seen linkedin.com/in/ then there's some number 01 ABC like that. The thing is, you can customize your LinkedIn URL, maybe in your name, and that would be the best of the way to look at. And in case you are sharing your LinkedIn profile link, then obviously this one would make much more sense and looks better as well. At the same time, in case you want to add some kind of a video about yourself like that all that thing can be added apart from the post which you will be doing onto the LinkedIn your profile. And another thing is, just posting anything on LinkedIn really does not make sense. You have to post insightful content, even if you are posting say once in a week, but that post or the content should be meaningful to the users who are coming onto this platform and accessing your content which has been put in through your profile. So another is question comes up, what is the most important quality you look for when connecting with professionals on LinkedIn? So maybe you can use this chat window to type in what is the most important quality you look for while connecting with the individuals on LinkedIn. For example, you want to connect to somebody. So what is that quality you would like to look at in that individual? Okay, yes, I think visibility is one which is there. Anybody else who would like to put in the comments here? What quality you would like to look in for the professionals? Yes, leadership. Okay, so Simran says leadership quality, yes. So you might want to connect to the leaders in the respective industry because they are the ones who are like, calling the shots. They are the one who are leading and you want to learn from them. You want to connect from them. Maybe you want the mentorship of them. Next, okay, so Bhuvnesh says how the individual can help me to get a good. Yeah, absolutely. So maybe you are connected to a senior HR leader. Maybe you're connected to a CEO of a company, CHRO, chief operations officer, and career profile. So there are different areas, which are there. And this is where exactly the LinkedIn comes in and, helps you as a user of LinkedIn. There are some suggestions here which come up. So you can leverage the alumni networks and the groups. You can also highlight the leadership roles, projects, and the work assignments in your particular profile. And you can engage in the professional discussions to build a global footprint. And always ensure that whenever you are having some achievement, do post your achievements on LinkedIn. Maybe somebody got something like an Employee of the Month award, or somebody has got a certification. Maybe you earned a certification on LinkedIn. So why not showcase that on the LinkedIn platform and tell everyone, hey, I have got this particular certification. I'm a learner. And who knows, maybe you are inspiring somebody to learn and become, so inspiration, you can also be inspiration to someone. It is not necessary that only when you are a director level, a CEO level, is the time when you are inspiring. Inspiration can come from somebody who's just a fresher, just a 21-year-old, a graduate who's just passed out from a college, and from probably he has some skills and knowledge by which he or she can be a mentor to somebody who's like say 50-year-old. Why not? So all these things are there. So LinkedIn, yes, professional network, keep on connecting with the people and showcase the achievements and contribute with meaningful content on this network. Some common mistakes to avoid. Sometimes this happen, we have seen on LinkedIn profile. Somebody may have a photograph, on a t-shirt and shorts like that. Somebody which looks very unprofessional. Because here we are talking about, your profile on a professional network. So by default, your profile, your photograph has to be professional. Not always necessary. It should be, your photo to be clicked by a professional photographer, but maybe with a maybe a tie along with a shirt, full sleeve shirt, even looks decent enough as a professional profile photograph. So here, therefore, you can use that as well as a professional pic. If you can get it photographed professionally, why not? It basically adds up to your profile. Another thing is we have to keep updated with the information and no outdated information on your particular website page of LinkedIn. Somebody has moved on, gone to a new company, working for 3 months, profile not updated. No, that really does not make sense. So it is important, as you are kind of having any achievement certifications, keep on updating your profile on the LinkedIn. Next thing is you have to connect and engage with the particular network. Somebody has sent you a LinkedIn request. See that, yes, if the person appeals and then you think this profile connecting on your LinkedIn, does that make sense? Or somebody has just out of the blue moon sent you a request. So you have to analyze what are the people you want to add on to your own professional network. So because ultimately this is going to be your sanctity and your network on which you are being played with. So neglecting to connect and engage is again a common mistake to be avoided. Listing any kind of an irrelevant or a weak skill, this platform really does not help. So always put something which is relevant in terms of your skill achievement, your experience, or anything. So it has to be a meaningful content when we look at the keywords. So action plan is you can have a 30 to 60-day LinkedIn boost. Maybe you can have a plan put in place. The first step would be to update the headline, the summary, and the photograph. The next 3 and 4 weeks, you can say you can have some meaningful connections you can add on to. On the week 5 and 6, you can post or share one professional insight, maybe weekly, fortnightly, like that. And then you can also monitor your profile views and the engagement metrics. In fact, we will see some of the sample profiles which are there onto this thing. So I'll be sharing the screen once again. So let us have a look at some of the profiles, sample profiles. So I'm just going to share the screen here. So let us first have a look of the profile. Okay, so here Mr. Nathan SV is one of the most accomplished human resource professionals in terms of global reputation, you can say. So he's an author, learner, TEDx speaker, and human. You can say just in the 4 keywords he has put up. And you can see a very professional, pic which has been shared onto his profile. And if you look at this particular background, there's a clean background, which has basically, come up here. In terms of the last assignment, PwC Acceleration Center India, and he's a pass out of XLRI Jamshedpur. You can see this is the way it has been put in. Next, when we look at, he basically gives the posts on the LinkedIn in terms of hashtag life truths he shares, which is called as the mentor musings. At the same time, he shares something on which is called as the office truths, hashtag office truths. So these 2 hashtags are kind of, you can say a landmark for him, or you can say this tagline by which people connect with him, whereby he shares his experience, office truths, and the life truths onto this particular platform and this particular forum. You look at the experience, country leader, co-founder and chairman, Deloitte India, he has worked for 19 years. So if you see all his kind of experience professional summary, all the experiences, 9 experiences are put onto this particular profile. So starting from his journey from 1983, he has completely put all these experience. So from the experience, when we look at education, so education he has mentioned, XLRI Jamshedpur, and then recommendations which he has received. So you have received some recommendations, some you have given. So I think this brings to an important point that not only when you receive the recommendations, at the same time you should be grateful enough to even give and recommendations to the people when they ask you for the recommendations. So this is the one of the sample profile, how it has been made very simple, clear, visible, which is there. So now we will share one more kind of a profile here, and let us have a look at that particular profile as well. So next profile we are sharing is of Mr. Ankur Sethi. He is a founder and CEO of Corporate Shiksha. And here you can see, like, he has been mentioned the company name. And since it is his own company, you can see how he has written. It's a training company. Get 1% better every day. Make the orbit shift. So that is the kind of the impact which he has brought in. Look at the photograph, professional photograph. Contact info, one can mention here. And then you can see that in the about, he has mentioned about his profile, what organizations he has worked with, 300 organizations, Fortune 500 companies, learning network of 1500 CXOs. He has talked about that what he does as a founder and the CEO of Corporate Shiksha. So this comes in the about section. Then you can see some featured posts he had mentioned. You can feature the post, some videos which he has made available, comments, and posts which are there. And you can see even the activity, he has 25,139 followers which are there. Again, experience more than 12 years in Corporate Shiksha as a CEO. And you can see the experience which has been put in few lines, and the education. Even the volunteering impact, you can see that he has been a volunteer to various organizations. All 4 volunteer experiences he has put in. So you can see all the details, his achievements, being as a volunteer also has been put in. Skills have been put in here, business development and 99 endorsement, leadership as a skill, and the recommendations which he has given and received. So this is again a very kind of a clean profile has been made by Mr. Ankur Sethi. So moving on, let us, so this was again, so we saw one profile for somebody who has left the corporate job. Second, we saw the profile of somebody who's an entrepreneur on his own company. And the third profile now we will see of somebody who's working as a CEO in an organization. And I'm going to share his profile. So over to Mr. Manmeet Singh's profile. He is a CEO and director on board. Again, you can see, have a look at the profile, professional photograph, and then this is the light background just kept as empty. No other, things. All the CEO and director on board, contact info, followers, about him. He has mentioned this in, like, say, you can say around 8 to 10 lines. Passionate about shaping the workforce of tomorrow. So the first few words, you can see that how he has put in that what kind of a mission he is in. He's passionate about shaping the workforce of tomorrow, connecting talent with meaningful opportunities, which basically gives us the impact that his organization, which he is leading as a CEO and director on board, the first Meridian Business Service, it must be offering the job opportunities to the talent or people. Manmeet is a recognized thought leader in employment services and HR solutions with a global impact across diverse industries. So as you can see, the first 2 lines talk all about, which this individual is doing as the CEO of the organization, First Meridian Business Services. So just in few lines, you can create a meaningful impact in terms of what you write in the about section about yourself. Currently serving as a vice president and executive board member of the Indian Staffing Federation. So, he is a board member of Staffing ISF, director on board for First Meridian. And then he talks about his organization. So you can see the sequence, how he has beautifully put in. First, he has talked about, what is the purpose of his life, what he is passionate about. Then he has talked about that what is the kind of different bodies he is a member or a board member or serving as a director. And then towards the end, he talks about the organization, which is the First Meridian. So this is just a sample. You can have your own. The thing is, we can learn from the profiles of the CEOs, how do they really make it? Because at this level, I'm sure there's a kind of a professionalism being exhibited. So it's Chief Executive Officer, 5 years, 6 months, then Manpower Group, 12 years. And he has mentioned starting his journey from 1997, 2003. Education, HBSO, I'm sure very much CDOE understand that, Harvard Business School Online. and then the skills, talent acquisition, recruiting, and various other skills are there. Recommendations received and given. So this, showcases the profile about the Mr. Manmeet Singh. So here you saw that, how different people, one is a CEO, the other is the founder of the own, as a kind of a, you can say, the entrepreneur, and somebody who has now exited from the corporate world, starting his own journey in terms of maybe own venture. So we saw these, three different profiles which are there. So now, in fact, I'm going to show you how you can basically change the link of your profile and how you can make it better. So that is what we will be showcasing. So I'm just pulling out the link here, and I'll be sharing this particular screen very shortly. So here I am sharing the profile. So here you can see this profile has been shared. So what you have to do is, when you want to edit your link, like my here link is linkedin.com/in/ the name is there. And then in case you want to change this, suppose somebody is having a number 027 128 like that. So you have to go to this contact info, you click on the contact info, and then you have to basically click on this your profile, edit link, and the profile URL, you can click on this particular link. So here when you click on to the link, so here we are on this particular tab. So you will reach out to which is called as the public profile settings. And when you click on this particular edit or custom your URL, so whatever name you put in, exactly, so this is the way how you can edit and customize your URL of your LinkedIn profile. So otherwise, by default, it will be like 0 ABC 123, and you click on this save here in your public, and it will say success, we have updated your settings. And that is how you can update and customize your URL for your profile and make it appearing much more professional. So when you put it onto your resume, that really makes the impact, and that basically makes the difference. So what we'll do is here the kind of a small assignment is there for everyone, that as you see this session, what you can do is you can, I'm sharing the slide once again. So you review your LinkedIn profile today, as when you get the chance, identify one improvement you can make and make the change immediately. Maybe you want to change a picture, maybe you want to update the URL of the LinkedIn profile. So you can make this change. So in case somebody right now, maybe let us take out 2 minutes, and you can just simply go to your LinkedIn profile, any one small change which you want to make it, and then maybe you can share the reflections to the members onto this chat window, that what did you add, made, or change. So we'll just maybe give a minute here. So let's just take a minute or so, just to see what one change you can bring to your profile, and then you can post on the chat box here what change you made in your profile. Yes, so each one, just take a minute or so and see what change you can make through your mobile phone, a laptop, whichever way you are attending this particular session. And let's try to maybe bring some small change if possible, as we are moving ahead in this particular session. Okay, great. So I think the response has started to coming. So Mr. Dibanjan says he has made a change to the profile URL. Okay, that's excellent. Anyone else who has made some change can put onto the text box any change which you have made during the session. Okay, let us give us a couple of minutes. It takes some time, and then we'll continue. Okay, so we have one more input which has come here. So Vrinda says that cover pic has changed. Okay, very good. Because it has to be something which is called as outcome driven. So when we are investing a time on a particular session, the time of your life, maybe one could have done something else, but to all those who have joined the session, So let us make some meaningful outcome by attending this, particular session. Okay. All right. So I can see some immediate changes, which I'm sure many will make who are a part of this session, that maybe somebody would make your profile URL more professional. And yes, so okay, so Kishan Yadav has changed the URL. Yes, I mean, making it more professional. Somebody will change a pic. Somebody, okay, so Simran says profile URL. Somebody will make a change to the About Us section. Okay, so Sapna says profile picture. Okay, so like this, there are some changes which will happen. Okay, so Komal says updated URL and the profile is updated. Okay, so I think that is simply great here, that we were able to make some change, as we have been going through this particular session. So Ayushi says cover picture updated. Okay, excellent. So it is great to see that, we are trying to understand and assimilate that why, having a professional picture is important, why having a professional URL is important, why writing the words and the content in the About Us section, which is about reflection, all about yourself. When you say about us, it's about me, as an individual. It is about you as an individual. So that is an individual representation. And that is where this about section, becomes very important. You are showcasing you as a brand to this particular external world. And therefore, this about section and your experiences, certification makes all the difference. So in Gurpreet, she has written a profile URL and cover photo changed. Okay, so background has been made as blank, and that would look much more simpler, cleaner and neat, which is there. So I think that's really an excellent. Okay. Okay. So I'm sure many others would be also updating, but these are some of the common things which have come out, and that really looks good, that there was some kind of an the impact whereby the learners have also kind of made a change, and that is really very helpful. Okay. All right. So I think this was a bit of an exercise. And this is a great reflection. Each one of you have shared your reflections with your peers here on this particular chat. So some of the coming to the closing and the takeaways which we have from the today's session. Your LinkedIn presence is your professional identity, which is made available online. Consistency and authenticity builds trust. So you have to be consistent, maybe one post fortnightly, one post weekly. What is the kind of the theme you are looking at? Like we saw the example of Mr. S.V. Nathan, office truths, life learnings, like that. So maybe you can take one area or a topic whereby you want to build your profile and showcase that whom do you stand for. So consistency and authenticity builds trust. It adds credibility to your profile. Invest time in the networking, learning, and the personal branding. So if it takes time to kind of build onto the post, can use the various kind of platforms which are there available online, and invest time in networking, learning, which is through LinkedIn learning, networking, obviously the professional network, and the personal branding. So the more you connect with people, the larger your network, the more chances are that maybe that will help you, in terms of your career, or in case you're an entrepreneur, maybe it helps you to win clients, or you're a sales guy, maybe looking at the prospect leads. So various professional people in whatever career they are in, the kind of roles they are in, they can add credibility to their profile. One thing also I'd like to add is that when you are sending a kind of a message while connecting first time to an individual, just don't say in the message something like, I am looking for a job, or like that. That is your want. But why would somebody, let us say, kind of connect with you? So always do mention, about the achievements and accomplishments of the person first. I think that is much more logical as well. So you can talk about, hey, great to know that you are doing a great work in the recruitment space. For example, you are reaching out to a leader in a recruitment organization. So, great to see your work, and it will be great to, connect with you. I would like to have a more discussion in detail. So you have to first build that rapport with that individual, and obviously thank him for what contribution that individual has been making in that his particular industry, in his space. And then you can slowly, steadily, as the number two and number three, you can put forward your points. Okay, I would like to connect with you as a professional. Then once you get connected, then you can maybe exchange numbers, get connected over a phone call or Google Meet, whatever platform, that really suits to you. I mean, that is how, so it has to be a gradual, a step-by-step process of connecting with the individuals over this professional network, and no haste in terms of, connecting and all that. So that, because then this is obviously your professional network, and being professional in terms of connecting, communicating, posting, or maybe you can even have a newsletter. So when you say, let us say you have bring up once in a month your own newsletter as an individual, again that adds a credibility to your profile. Maybe you can talk about quality. Somebody is expert. Somebody who's a expert in student success can talk about student success. Somebody is into sales, can talk about the sales, what is happening in sales. Somebody is great into marketing, can talk about what is the 3.0, 4.0 different things which are happening in the marketing area. So whatever is your whatever is your key strength and the areas, you can build that knowledge in the network, share knowledge, and also encourage others to learn on this particular network. So I'm sure these some of the points maybe would have helped you as we have moved ahead. So thank you everyone for joining in, sparing your time to be here. This is the LinkedIn profile with the name which is there made available, and some other profiles were also shared with you during that particular session. So with this, I bring a pause to my particular this session today, and just hope that something meaningful maybe got added to you all who have been attending this session. So I thank the team of the CDOE, as we call it, Chitkara University Center for Distance and Online Education, Dr. Rahul Haku, and the team members who have put it all together, the different bits, for bringing up this session. I think this was much awaited after long days. But yes, it has been accomplished. And so thank you to each one of you. I now hand over this mic to Dr. Rahul Haku.
Thank you, sir. It was an insightful session that offered practical tips on building a strong professional presence on LinkedIn. On behalf of Center for Distance and Online Education, Chitkara University, we are deeply grateful for the insightful thoughts and encouraging moments shared throughout the session. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful evening ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.